Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you ladder, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This man not they off in mind.
Hello there.
Maiyegun la wa mo do do.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun la wa mo do do.
Maiyegun diary.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, good evening to you from wherever you're watching from. And this is Maiyegun Live.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun diary Politico.
Thank you very much. Share this broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. In fact, invite the students in particular. Tag them, share this, and tell them that Maiyegun today.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ do.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Maiyegun ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn láti.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Wọ́n bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
I will talk.
Àní ẹ̀sùn láti.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Read the caption of the broadcast. Read the description as well, where some other stories are also embedded. And then relax after you must have shared the broadcast, maybe liked it. To my friends on Facebook, you are likely not going to see this notification. For those who have seen the notification, have joined, thank you. You can try and share if you are allowed to, or comment if you're allowed to as well. But if you really want to enjoy it very well, I would advise you to join us on YouTube. Yes, try it. The link is on my Facebook page as well. So tonight, there is already a looming second disaster to what they have already done into the academic life of the millions of young Nigerians who have been kept at home for the past 8 months. So many of them who have suffered great losses in different ways. Today, they are about to renew that. And I don't know how long it's going to take, but it seems that it is, inevitable. You are going to go on your ASUU strike season 2. Why? Buhari's government made an agreement, something that was like wishy-washy, shady. After they blackmailed ASUU, that the money they were asking for was probably, they made it look like those lecturers were asking for that money for themselves. But eventually they succumbed to the blackmail of Buhari APC, Egbekegbe. But part of the agreement was that, okay, listen, yeah, no work, no pay. But in the spirit of reconciliation, we are going to pay you what we owe you, okay? However, we're going to pay them in batches. They did not make any agreement that was really solid to start with, though. So from yesterday, the lecturers who were on strike for 8 months, some of them who have left Nigeria, by the way, for those who are left in Nigeria, they started receiving their pay, their first pay in 9 months. And guess what? They were like, not even like half salary. It was like they picked the days for those of them who returned when they said they would return, for those who didn't, lecturers in Nigerian university received the salary of, some received the salary of 21,000 naira. Now, some have already started that all of you who are still at home, yet to return, don't bother returning. To some of you who have returned and somehow sat for the examination, the quick one they made you do, don't expect any results. In fact, you know what? If you have something you were doing before in the last 8 months that you are not serious about, you better tell them now that you are coming back. Now, that is the further disaster that they called your future. If you don't really worry about that, I don't know what you should. Mind you, like I said, there are more. They said that some states in Nigeria, after the Emefiole's announcement that they are going to change the design of the naira, some of the known culprits of usual thieves, looters, state governors. You get that? And then politicians, their proxies, all that. So they said the money is so much that some of these state governors, they are now about to, in their own way of disbursing their stash, they are now willing to start paying the salary of their state workers in cash. Guess what? This same money that they are bringing out today, they were withdrawn from banks in the name of security votes, in the name of projects, in the name of paying this or paying for that. And all this cash were kept until now. So if you notice anybody, any states that you have been told that your salary will be paid in cash, just know that your government is one of, your governor or the government of your state is one of the culprits. Meanwhile, as much as we have been told that the whole hog of disgrace that Buhari and Malamu continue to shift the date of their disgrace, on Nnamdi Kanu. This has now shifted it to the Supreme Court of Nigeria, where it will then be interpreted fully and will be laid to rest. Okay, finally, the rights of Nnamdi Kanu that Buhari's government have been trampling upon all this way, to the point that they committed international crimes. The one that will actually outlive them when they leave power, Malamu and co, they will probably have to stay in Nigeria forever and die in Nigeria for what they have done because of Nnamdi Kanu. But there are those who will never forget him, even under even in the face of this fatal threat from Buhari's government in Igbo land. There are still people that will continue to stand up, push. You know what I mean? You can't kill them all. And mind you, right, as we have come to know now, right, Biafra is an ideology, an idea that even if you kill 1 million, 2 million, 10 million, it's never going to die. So why don't you just open the door of dialogue, the one that can pave way for an everlasting peace? Biafra Republic. You're not going to die if the Igbos have their own republic, would you? Again, there are those that will never succumb under whatever threats or pressure that Buhari unleashed. That happened in Abia today, where they staged a massive, peaceful protest, reminding Nigeria that, yeah, you might have been so accustomed, so used to the brutality and illegality against the Igbos in Nigeria, but guess what? It will never break us. So last, and Nigeria go break. But it's a matter of time as well. I have a lot in pack. But on this platform, we were looking for something, just anything, no matter how little, how small, yeah, of what Atiku is doing in America. Well, I've got something for you. That is what he told, according to him, his American friends, what he is planning to do, blah, blah. Finally, we go on, right? You go manage them like that. So when we get to that stage, also tonight, many times people have told us on this platform, they have said that you can go on and get your 1 million, 100 million PVC. The people you are up against that are going to print the same PVC for you, once they sense that you are actually a threat, they will deal with you in their own Nigerian way. Now, that is expected. You may not know how much. I'll tell you few. Because Peter Obi himself confessed to his own followers. He said, if you know what they are doing to me, if you know what they are doing to my business partners, friends, things have got that he is an elite, a billionaire, a former governor, right? If you know what they are doing to him behind the scene, how they are dealing with him, you will understand that the battle you are about to face, you should rather be preparing for a plan B, because for this one, it's already rigged. Now, if they now rig you out finally, technically and every way, what do you have to do? Go back to your cocoon and continue to pray or complain. Obi said some of his own best known friends, they are now scared to pick his phone calls. He said those who manage to pick his phone calls, they are afraid to meet him in public during the day. They have to meet him during the night because of what the system would do to them. Have you noticed that APC, PDP, they are not really onto themselves the way they are onto you? Those of you who are like the obedient, one Nigerianist, you want to deal with the system. We'll talk about that as well tonight. So take a moment, call it a break, right? Before we get started. If you haven't shared the broadcast, you probably should do that now. Just a moment. And then we can kickstart this.
Today, I'm standing not at Zainab Ahmed, not at Binti Jazi that everybody knows. Today, I'm standing as a mother a sister, a wife, a friend. Today, I lost someone very dear to me, raped by 8 men, killed, video sent to our kids. For crying out loud, what wrong have we done to you? This government, me mukai muku, me yasa ba za ku kawo mana dauki ba, a dauki uwar mutum, a yi rafin ɗinta, maza 8, a kashe ta, a aika wa 'ya'yanta bidiyo. Wani irin zalunci kuke mana a ƙasar nan? Wani irin zalunci kuke yi mana a ƙasar nan? Ya kuke iya kwanciya ku yi bacci da hakokinmu da yake kanku? Kun yi alkawari za ku kawo mana tsaro. Ku bar mu da yunwa da kuka kawo mana ƙasa. Kullum mutuncinmu ake ci. Kullum tozarci muke gani. Tun ana yi a nesa yana zuwa kusa da mu. Ya ilahi me kuke so mu yi muku? Laifin me arewa ta yi muku? Laifin me arewa suka yi muku? Laifi ne da muka fito muka zaɓe ku. Laifi ne da muka fito muka bi bayan ku. Laifin me muka yi muku? Baba Buhari me muka yi maka? Baba Buhari me yasa ka tsana arewa? Baba Buhari me mata arewa suka yi maka kake bari ake cin zarafin su? Baba Buhari me arewa ta yi maka baba? Baba arewa ce ta kawo ka mulki baba? Baba arewa ce ta mai da kai?
We have got the opportunity to serve again for additional 4 years. And Nigerians will know the difference.
So, good evening to you once again. Good afternoon to you and good morning to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun and it is live if you are joining us right on the hour. Ladies and gentlemen, for 8 months, the government of Buhari and the Organization of University Lecturers in Nigeria, ASUU, they were playing ping-pong with the academic life and the future of millions of young Nigerians by shutting the universities for 8 months. Who is at fault? Who is wrong? Who is not wrong? Which deal? Which agreement? Which year? This and that for 8 solid months. Some younger students, some students, right, died within that 8 months. Some committed suicide. Some are actually suffering from mental health that the society is actually not even like a torchlighting us now, like putting on your searchlight on. But with the wreck, the ruin, the disaster of that 8 months in the lives of an average student in Nigeria, it seems that you were just like on a break. Because those who sworn to give you the future they continue to propagate on different platforms where they lie to you and you believe them, they actually don't care. I'll tell you some few things, right? The lecturers in Nigeria are one of the worst paid lecturers in the whole world. I mean, the whole world is too big. We'll use Africa. Educational system in Nigeria is one of the worst funded system in the whole world. I don't know any other place that is so worse, because Nigerians are looking for education as far as Niger Republic. Can you believe that? Just for one simple reason. they continue to underfund education so that they can continue to yield and then produce quacks, half-baked, educated morons who always help justify their usual, systemic criminalities. You don't understand how the system works, Abi. That's how it works. The system mold you. The type of education they give to you will eventually determine at least 75% of what you are going to become in life. Yes, among other things. The empowerment you need depends on the type of training, education, exposure, and other support you get while you are growing up. All the tools you need as a young person, starting from the crèche, the kindergarten, is a whole system that produces the humans that are going to live in a society that can think normal. Now, Nigerian system doesn't care about that. Over time, it continues to depreciate and depreciate and depreciate because of poor funding, while the rogues making these decisions continue to make the same system to their own advantage. Now, an average senator, one senator in Nigeria, earns more than the Prime Minister of the UK, earns more than the President of America. Now, how do you place that in a country where it is adjudged as the poverty capital of the world, and it's not changing? In 7 years, ladies and gentlemen, this may sound ridiculous, right? But it is not. Well, it is ridiculous. But in Nigeria, it is no more. Nigeria has no money to fund education because they have to feed the fat cows, the gluttons, the criminals who live off the system, and the whole money to feed them has to be scraped from wherever they can get it from until they have nothing for health or education. So the lecturers said they are fighting for proper funding of the education system, or they should just hand off the education system and let educational system and let the people pay. And I'm like, it is so corrupt, it is so fraudulent that when you begin to ask questions of yourself, right, you will see the clearer picture that there is I don't think there is any country governed by fraudulent people who actually don't see how fraudulent they are. You know, they say, if you lie to yourself, if you tell lies many times, even you telling the lies, you begin to believe the lie. Now, take a listen. In Nigeria, they say there's they can't fund education. But in most part of Nigeria, especially southern part of Nigeria, where everyone pay for their university education, college education, you pay for school fees, don't you? Without your population and all that, right? This one is small layman arithmetical. Something that you will see through. Why are they playing with your future? Who is lying to you? You pay school fees, don't you? You pay tuition. There are places where there are times that are breaking news. Kaduna government increased school fees to 250,000 naira per student. OOU increased the school fees to 180,000 to 400,000. People are paying public universities in Nigeria. There are places where students are paying as much as 400,000 naira school fees. But when you hear about how much they are paying their lecturers and where does this money go to, who collect this money, I'm still wondering. When they now say the university system needs autonomy, the autonomy so that they can raise their own money and fund the system themselves, improve the infrastructures in their schools. Something ASUU said they don't have the capacity because they don't have any money. Universities have no money. They have to depend on allocation from Abuja. Now, this is where they are now lying to you. You pay school fees, right? Where does that money go to? How much exactly is being realized from public tuition for universities and colleges of education in Nigeria? Does any of you students in Nigeria, do you have that figure? Do you? I may not be that, I may be kind of a rusty. I would love to see that data. How many students do you have in Nigeria schools? Nigeria universities, running different courses? How much is the average tuition of university education in Nigeria? Okay. Now put that population beside that fee and give me a figure and then follow the money and ask the question, how come education is underfunded in Nigeria? Is not far-fetched. The system don't want you educated, because a proper education will probably never make you so docile to accept some of the things that many of you defend at every given opportunity. Do you understand that? The poor, adulterated, quackery, and fake education they give to you, much like it's all intentional. They intentionally put that in place. Now, 8 months of your life gone. Something that you probably are meant to actually accustomed to get used to that. So they came together. The government that can spend 82 billion naira on maintaining the Nigerian presidential fleet, a country that is comfortable, right? Spending, or should I say, budgeting over 280 billion naira for people who are less than 1,000 people at the National Assembly. They want to renovate their National Assembly. Guess how much? They want to renovate it with 129 billion naira. And you are there, defending that. Okay? And guess what? When they said they have settled and they have gone back, we said it's just Ashewo we go marry. Now just short break she go to. Eventually she'll go back to the trade. That's it. Sorry, that's sort of a dark humor out there, So as it be, whether they lied to them or not, so they said from yesterday, the money they were paying to them, some lecturers were like wondering, kilo nshele, waiting they happen. Because the salaries that they are even demanding for, that is part of the 1.4 trillion naira education support, whatever they are demanding for, that caused this whole strike. Don't let me confuse you. Maybe you know, maybe you don't, but don't let me confuse you. ASUU lecturers are demanding for better pay. Now, they said if they increase what they pay them, the ASUU, it is going to cost Nigeria over 200 billion naira every year. That is how much to pay your lecturers in your school. But they can afford to budget and pay over 280 billion to less than 1,000 people, because they are making laws that never really make your lives better, yeah? So they said they can't afford that. That ASUU is also demanding that improved funding to all of the federal institutions, federal educational institutions like universities or colleges of education or whatever right? That the funding for them should be improved. And if that should be done with their demand, it will cost Nigeria 1.2 trillion. So therefore, to give ASUU what ASUU is asking for, it's going to cost Nigeria 1.4 trillion. But listen to me, their salary is actually less than 200 billion a year. That is less than what Buhari is spending on his world tour, education. Health, what is it they call them? Medical tourism, and his family living free on your bill in Dubai, all over the place. And every one of them that is part of this whole charade. But you have already been bamboozled with different lies of those who don't give a damn. They said ASUU is demanding for 1.4 trillion, where they want Nigeria to see that money. ASUU hates Nigeria. And those of you who actually believe them, now I am just saying this to you. You might need to renew your anger against ASUU, because those who are actually supposed to keep you in your school, get you through all your whatever you are doing, and possibly get you ready to be able to face what the world really has to offer after all this, right? They can push the blame to them, and you too, right, can enjoy blaming them while your life, your future waste away. They even created another ASUU. You remember that? They created another faction of ASUU, like Tifnumbu is trying to create the faction in Afenifere. It is what they do. But what about your own life? Hail them and enjoy that as much as you would. Now, to the second part of this chart. This one will take us back to America, where Atiku was talking about Nigeria and what he has said to do. Lecturers, we collected, we get paid a 15 days salary after 8 months. They have now told their students that, listen, for those of you who have sat for examination, forget about results. We are not releasing it until we are paid. So with what we now know, it seems like once they kickstart it, if they should go ahead and do that, yeah, your situation as students is going to probably never come back to any review until maybe June, July, August, September, December 2023. Like, we know now that a lot of you have managed to get university or whatever admission to different parts of the world, especially the UK. So, for those of you who are like on that process, or probably you've abandoned it, you might just go and learn trade or go back and do something really productive with your life. You see, those in charge of Nigeria, they don't give a damn about you. And I don't think you'd probably give a damn about yourselves too for defending them, right? I'm coming back to you. Let's go and hear from Atiku as Buhari fulfills his dream of top to bottom.
And listening to us. Nigeria, APC from top to bottom. Top to bottom. Top to bottom.
How much is the dollar today, by the way? Do you see me asking you how much be the dollar? Because that's what is trending now. They're buying with the stolen cash. EFCC came out and they said that they have discovered that Wirewike is one of those who have stolen cash stock somewhere. Okay? Stored somewhere. You see that Zamfara, El Kanemi, what did they call her? This guy, Zamfara, Matawali. They said he himself in government lodge in Abuja, Nasarawa State no, not Zamfara. No, Zamfara, not Nasarawa, Zamfara. That they have intel that 5 state governors are currently working round the clock to devise means of disposing the cash they have stockpiled, whatever that means. So, Wirewike, who has been battling with Atiku all this while, inaugurated the 100,000 personal assistants just a few hours, 48 hours ago, 2 days ago, thereabout. He has increased the number to 200,000 personal assistants, and he's going to continue to inaugurate them according to him. So that might be one big, easy way. You see, somebody said, or should I say, we were talking yesterday, and I said, I want to believe that with the deal that Wirewike signed and then agreed to with Tifnumbu and APC in Rivers State, he is not agreeing to that because he's looking for money. Or no. What he's looking for is immunity, protection from prosecution after he no longer has immunity as governor. And as he be, they have already concluded his case with Atiku. Atiku said he's moved on. They will deal with him once he's no longer governor, if Atiku becomes the president. So that deal doesn't really include money. In fact, if there is anything at all from the Jagabandit camp, it will probably be just a blank check for Wirewike to do whatever. But there's an area we didn't look into, and we should have probably mentioned that too. And it is the area of this stockpiled 2.8 trillion naira printed money that is not in circulation in Nigeria, stockpiled in different houses and all that. And most of this money can be found in, in all of the 36 states government houses in Nigeria. And if for those of them who have lodge, government lodges, governors lodges in different states and Abuja, if you go into those buildings and you raid them like a national raid, you probably will find up to 1 trillion naira that you are looking for in those government houses. And the custodians of those money are the people who are running your government in different states as we speak. So we're saying it's going to cost Werewike 5 billion if he is paying his special assistants, if he's paying them 50,000 naira every month, right? 100,000 people, that will cost him about 5 billion naira every month, okay? Plus logistic, plus distilling, plus everything that will come into it. Let's say they will put up to like 7 billion naira every month for those people. Now he's doubled them now to 200,000. Now you should double that number too. So we say Werewike will need up to 14 billion naira to run the racket is put together in Rivers State right now successfully for 4 straight months. To this month in November, to the next month in December, January 2023, and February 2023. So if it's to run them for the straight 4 months, it will need 14 billion naira every month. And that is 56 billion naira. That's a lot of money. Now, if that should come from the River State money, right, which is a crime that is trying to legalize by saying, as the governor, he could create job, he could create assistance and the rest of that, right? But it's a crime. So it probably has the other money that we are not looking into. What about stashed money? What about that? EFCC just mentioned him, not me. They mentioned him, okay? And they mentioned other APC, Egbekegbe governors. There are some of these governors in northern Nigeria. Every month, they go to Abuja. Their commissioner for finance, they go to Abuja, they sign their allocation. Once they collect the money, they will go straight to the bank. They will withdraw the money. For example, Ekiti State, let's say Ekiti State collects 1.2 billion. Zamfara, a small state, is also collecting, let's say, 1.3 billion. Now, the commissioner of finance for Zamfara, the moment is signed at the finance ministry in Abuja, that amount allocation, it will go straight, because that money will be transferred to their bank, straight, the state government account, which the finance commissioner and the rest of their clique who own the money, they go straight to the bank. They start withdrawing them in cash. They will load them in cars, government cars, straight to the government house. So if you are wondering why they are owing salaries, they are not paying salaries, this is why. Because there's no money to transfer to workers. Do you get that now? And there are states like that you don't even know. You don't even know their governor. If they say this one are governor, which governor of which state? If I ask all of you, one Nigerianist, to mention just 20 states from the 36 states in Nigeria, yeah, you probably will completely lose it by the time you get to number 10. If I ask you to start naming the governors of 20 states in Nigeria right now, some of you will completely, you could probably you barely list 5 or 10. Yes, that is just to tell you that for what they are talking about, for what they are looking for, I'm talking about the stolen cash and the rest, where you could find them. This is how they operate. Nobody knows them. Nobody cares about where they come from. They control everything in their state, including the posts and everything, including the people, local government, any money. And once the money comes in every month, they go there, they withdraw them in cash. They send them to local government areas where the politicians there too, councillors, chairmen, and the rest, they too just come every month to sign and share whatever that actually, gets to them. And that's what they do every month. And that. So the stolen cash can be found in all these places, as we have been told. And we hope that the value, now that they are finding them, the first person that asked you about the value of the money in your pocket was the same man, the fraudster that scammed educated people. He scammed the illiterates. He scammed male and female. He scammed Christians, Muslims. He scammed the atheists, Babalawo, Mama, everybody. He scammed everyone that could be scammed. Scammed the witches, the wizard. And his very byline is, one of his very, very sweet line then was, what is the value of the naira in your pocket today? As looters are exchanging their loot to dollars at whatever giveaway, ridiculous exchanges that you can imagine. Not even give a ridiculous 1,200 naira to $1 to change a stashed loot. What then is the value of that naira? Somebody asked you that 8 years ago.
Truly say to yourself that our country has changed for the better. Are our children safe when they go to school? Are our parents safe when we leave them at home? Is the naira in your bank account of greater value today than it was 4 years ago? I am Muhammad Buhari. I am urging you to have your PVC, and on election day, you go peacefully and vote and make sure your vote count. Thank you.
And we are competing with armed robbers and the bandits to recruit from the youths who are unemployed. 33% unemployed. Recruit 50 million youths into the army and take away from their recruitment source. What they will eat? Cassava, agbado, corn in the morning, yam in the afternoon. It's growing here. You create demand and consumption. For over 5 million army of boot camps, we create our food. Abi, that's money for the farmers. That's consumption for the soldiers and skill development. Don't call them illiterate. Don't talk about illiteracy. Anybody who can own gun, who can handle gun, who can cock gun and clean the chamber and cock and shoot is technically competent to repair a tractor in the farm.
Abibeko. Like I said, I have laid my hand on a copy of what Atiku shared with the Americans on the Voice of America. That's what we're told. Where he got questioned about his policies, his restructuring, fighting corruption, national unity, blah, 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 blah. Would you like to listen? Now, you would help me, help me kind of, you come to my defense, okay? When, if they should take this in a wrong way, I'm talking about the Voice of America, they own this clip and we give them the credit for it. But now Atiku did their platform. And that is why we want to hear what he said or what he had to say, so to say. So the credit goes to, the credit for this clip goes to the Voice of America. As we're told, released by the Atiku team, the parts you can possibly even access him to, right? In suits, if
you look at all the parameters, economic parameters, security, peace, prosperity, Nigeria has fared far, far, far better under PDP than the.
But people also accuse PDP of corruption, of being corrupt at the time it was ruling.
But we have come to realize that the APC is even more corrupt than PDP.
Okay, so what are you telling your voters so they can again vote PDP into office?
Well, I will remind them of the prosperity, that PDP brought to the country between 1999 and 2007, and then also the poverty, the insecurity, the instability that the APC has brought since they came into office.
You have said that you want to prevent the country from descending into quote-unquote frightening descent into anarchy. What do you mean by that?
What I mean is that I'm going to strengthen the security agencies in the country. I'm going to have more personnel. I'm going to have more equipment, and I'm also going to devolve more security apparatus to the local governments and also the states, so that it will not be just a federal government affair. It should be a concurrent, area between the federal government, states, and local governments, and that requires constitutional amendment.
The next president will have multiple priorities: growing insecurity, deep economic problems, rampant inflation, industrial crude oil theft, separatist agitation, among others. Should you and your party win, what do you plan to do to tackle this on day one?
We already have laid out, all those areas in our document, which is called My Covenant with Nigerians. And in that document, we have addressed all these issues: insecurity, poverty, oil theft, and so on and so forth.
There has been a lot of reporting around the Labour Party's Peter Obi that is making significant inroads among Nigeria's youth. That's a powerful bloc to have energized. Does this worry you? Powerful bloc to have energized. Does this worry you?
No, absolutely not. It doesn't worry me, because the demography of the youth, varies from region to region, and it is not in all regions of the country that the preponderance of the youth are moving towards labor. Maybe in some few areas in the south or in southeast.
Should we expect you to go into alliances with some of these other political parties?
Alliances are normal phenomenon in a political dispensation. If there are reasons for us to go into alliances, we will go. For instance, I promise that even if we win overwhelmingly, I'm going to set up a government of national unity, meaning that I will reach out to other political parties to participate in the government, so that we can, first of all, bring unity back to the country, bring stability. Unless you have unity and stability, all the programs you have lined up to implement, you cannot implement them. We have done that in 1999. PDP won overwhelmingly. But because of the circumstances of the situation in the country, we formed a government of national unity. We brought AD, we brought AMPP, and so on. And then I think we made a success of that. So we have the experience to do that.
Okay, now 3 French questions from the French. What are your thoughts on what is going on in the Sahel region to fight against terrorism and the coup d'etats?
Well, my first and foremost is regrettable that Nigeria has retreated in terms of the security of West Africa. In other words, the standing force we used to have, ECOMOG, is no longer in place, and Nigeria is retreating its leadership in West Africa. And I have assured, West African leaders that Nigeria will resume its leadership as far as the security of the Sahel and West Africa is concerned.
This relates to the next question, which says, should Nigeria as a leader play a much bigger role in the stabilization of the region?
Definitely yes. Nigeria has no alternative than to play such a role.
And what do you think about
as it used to be when we were in office? That's why I said we are going to reinstate, a common force to make sure, first of all, there is no disruption to our democratic gains in Africa, in West Africa in particular, and also we try to use that standing force, to deal with insecurity challenges anywhere they may arise within the West African sub-region.
By the way, what's your take about this American alert warning on terror and the measures they took to evacuate their citizens from Nigeria?
My belief is that there should have been actually a dialogue between the American security agencies or embassy and also the Nigerian authorities, so that there is a common understanding and a common approach. I think that's what should have been the case.
It is kind of surprising that a foreign entity like the U.S. would find out that things are not happening, that the Nigerian security or intelligence community have been unable to discover by themselves.
It's curious, quite all right, because I know there is a lot of areas of cooperation between the American security agencies and the Nigerian, defense agencies. But it's curious that, the Americans decided to do it the way they have, or handle it the way they have handled it.
And finally, from the French, what's your view about the effort to come up with this eco-regional currency for the entire African continent? Is that something you support?
Well, I don't know. Well, first of all, there are two things there. There is the West African Common Currency,
right,
which we support very much, and which, in fact, I have assured some West African leaders that I will pursue very, very vigorously. And then secondly, there was also the Inter-African Trade Agreement, which Nigeria has signed, but is not implementing it actively. So our administration will make sure that that is very much implemented throughout Africa.
Some of you are not really nice people. I told you, sometimes you should try to be nice. It's actually good to be nice. They said the interview was done by Voice of America. And I've been reading comments, and the rest of you have been like, oh, this one will be Voice of America or now Voice of Djibouti. How can VOA be VOD? Someone even said that a Voice of Adamawa. You should be nice. I mean, you should try and be nice. Because somehow, as you have Joe Biden in Tifnumbu, don't forget that you also have Adamawa Raila Odinga. Is that one new? Don't pretend. Atiku is your own Raila Odinga. So, Adamawa Raila Odinga answered all questions, or except one. And me, I go ask. Maybe all of us should ask. How did Atiku enter America in 2018? It's been one of the CIA, FBI, RMT, do you, and all that, yeah? Best kept secret. But it's not really dire, best kept secret. If you don't fulfill your own part of the bargain. There is a firm that we are yet to see any rebuttal to say it's a lie or it's fake. The agency that processed and arranged and smuggled Adamawa Raila Odinga into America, which gave him the name Adimeru, by the way. Into America. Or more. Should be all of you, they say they pay too much for visa. Agency, Nigerian travel agents, they will charge you 1,500,000, 2 million, because you won't go America or you won't go. You know what I mean? Do you know how much they charged Atiku? I don't know. But the balance of $5.9 million. Hey! $5.9 million unpaid. I didn't say that, oh. And these guys, they have to release it. Their name is Jurispetos Associates. Alaji Alpha now. Another election don't come. We just see your picture of America. So you don't figure out another way. This one, we didn't do this. There's a demand for the payment of the sum of $5,900,000 United States dollars to Legacy Logistics LLC for processing and procurement of United States of America visa on your behalf. Shangbao. Are you following, yeah? Now they want their money. I will ask for my money too. If a Atiku, person where I work and process something for 4 years ago, can't go meet another client, it never balance me. How come visa is so expensive when somebody has a diplomatic passport? Do you know that being president or vice president of Nigeria earns you a lifetime diplomatic passport, except if you do something that makes the law court revoke it, or something happened, the government of the country revoke it from you. You earn it and you can own it for the rest of your life. Atiku is one of those. I'm not sure. Maybe Obasanjo received no. Obasanjo, among other things that Obasanjo did to him to try to break him, revoking his diplomatic passport was not one of them. So how come that can't cost Atiku, God knows, maybe $10 million, and those who always cash out from him all the time anyway, $5.9 million to go to America just to go and take pictures, with Oyinbo, to show to them that you can. He says something about Peter Obi, and I'm not going to lie, it seems to be right. I don't know if you have noticed, though. Sure, you get, as much as obedient movement is everywhere and all that, but the tempo has kind of simmered drastically, that you can notice. Abi, some said it's because the ASUU has called off the strike. So students and all the people who are obedient, who are hungry for being at, they can no longer march. Una can't put the taste of a 1 million man march, 2 million man march. You can't give PDP, APC the taste. Now them they march. Now you they watch. But it seems that there is more that the system is unleashing to cower and control whatever you are doing. And if you pay attention very well, you realize that this obedience, the exposure that the Southern youth that they have, the exposure, the training, you know what I mean, that has made many of us to question what is going on, to the point that many people are actually interested in mobilizing and then sensitizing to just stand for something. They are mostly popular in Southern Nigeria, as they use religion, tribal, all manner of debt, right, to control what people in Northern Nigeria react to, and when and how. So when NSAS police brutality campaign was raging, it was popular in the South. When they killed the people and slaughtered people, they were done in the South. Do you get that now? So there's different feelings to what a Southern young Nigerian wants against, or let me say, want against the system than what an average Northerner wants. So they explained it before. They said, if you're angry with Nigeria because of no job and all of that, that's not really a big concern in Northern Nigeria, because there are people who don't work and they get paid. It's normal, and that's their life. So to them, as long as they're part of Nigeria, they will always get paid. All they have to do is to appear once a month and get paid. And if they can't get paid, well, they can beg and they can go to their politicians for support, food or anything. So it's different from you as ambition and all of that. And, then you figure out that, no, the system or the whole thing is rigged against you. Then you want to protest against it. So it's two different words. That's why Atiku said, when you look at the tone of the obedience from Southern Nigeria, you can tell that they are more committed to it. But in Northern Nigeria, they are just fringes. Obedient disagree. But somehow, you are going to agree with me that how people react and what they react to up north is hugely censored and controlled. People can get killed for saying they support Obi. You know that. Yeah? But you can't get killed in any part of southern Nigeria for saying you support Atiku or you support Tifnumbu. You get what I mean now? Now, that is something that Atiku is going to, and his team are going to appeal to. And he knows they have nothing anymore in southern Nigeria. And as it be, except you keep telling them that you are going to let them have some power, because that's what Atiku is preaching. He said, I want you to have more power. Oh, I want the state. I want the local government. I want the more you told, because that's why you want to go away, Abi. So if I tell you I'm going to do that for you, probably you won't go away, because as it be, it is just a matter of time before southern Nigeria or the Biafrans, or the Yorubas, or any other part of southern Nigeria will eventually say they are done. And guess what? It's going to come to pass. Now, talking about northern Nigeria and the strength of Obi himself, Obi was talking to his supporters just it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. So he was answering questions and he confessed to them. He said, listen, guys, I know what they are doing to you. They were complaining to Obi that Nigerian government ordered the bank to close down their bank accounts, the one they are using to fundraise themselves as support groups, right? So all of the Peter Obi support groups who open bank accounts in Nigeria, right? They can get shut down. All of them at any time. The system want them shut down. And the money in them, right? Completely confiscated, so they won't have access to that. Not just that, okay? Once they have, because you can see, it's like you guys have actually shown that you are a threat. So before you even lay your hands on your, what you call it, on your PVC, you know what they have done? Like Atiku pointedly said, that those who are trying to make it look like Obi is something, they are mostly from southern Nigeria. So if they have any weapon, it's going to be that your PVC, Abi, that you think you can use, Abi. Now they can turn it into an impotent weapon. And what's that? If you don't have it, you can't use it, Abi. Now, if you have it, if they want you to use it, you can only use it if they want you to use it. And even if you use it, if they want you to count, is when they need to count. So controlling this whole thing, I've already started. From those who register to vote in your 2023 charade, 49% of those of you who registered this year, after this Obi surge, that all of you just bombarded everywhere, 49% of you from southern Nigeria, they said your application or your registration is rejected, which simply means more than 2 million of you are not going to participate in the whole thing, even though you want to. That's just a start. The rest of you will still probably register and waiting for any PVC. You will watch and wait even longer. But again, that's how the system rig than what some of you think they rig. There is more. The politicians are not the only enemies that you actually have, but some of you probably don't know. We call it a system. When you say system, it is it comprises of different components, different parts, actors, bases, and the rest who come together, who formed whatever what do you call it? Whatever challenges you are facing in Nigeria today. It is not just the government; it is an embodiment of a whole corrupt system, which includes the private sectors. You know them; they are big players, big money movers, friends of politicians. They are the deciders because they are those who swing into where they believe their power is swinging to. Even if millions of you are dying, whatever you are dying of, okay, they will swing to where the power swings to, because that's how they protect their own wealth, which unfortunately are amassed from the proceeds of a rigged system, a corrupt system called Nigeria. So unfortunately, if the elites themselves are now feeling threatened that you want to crush that entire system, you want to break the whole thing, you want to bring an outsider who is going to be And the outsider to them is Obi. Even though Obi said he saw himself as their friends, he is a billionaire, he is a businessman, he is a money mover, he has been a governor, two-time governor of 8 years. So what else qualifies him to be among them, to earn their respect and their trust? Of course, he is not one of them. He is an Igbo man. Even if the only thing he's going to be useful for is to help the system to further subjugate the Igbos in Nigeria. If he can do that, he will be rewarded as he's been rewarded so far from that same system. Now, don't make it look like I'm speaking in parables. Oh. I'm telling you that the battle you have to face for saying you want to rescue Nigeria, you want to take Nigeria, and you want to fix Nigeria, and you want to fight the system. And some of you who have lived this fantasy for long, I'm just saying that even Obi knows that dealing with this whole thing is more kind of behind the scene than physical that some of you are preparing for. And Obi said his own friends of many years, they are now avoiding him. Why? He is leading a movement that they have considered as a threat to the laid down establishment. The one that doesn't care whether you are PDP or APC or anything, but you just follow the laid down procedure. Once you begin to speak outside that, then you have declared yourself as enemy. Obi told his friends, he said, if you see people who come out to see me, those are the people who braved the threats. Because as it be, everyone is a target. My friends are even they are ignoring my cause. Billionaire Obi, he said, simply because I want to be president of Nigeria. So, you obedient, you should get yourself ready to go to jail. You should get yourself ready to just be tear gassed and be killed unnecessarily, unprovoked, and it will happen in that same Nigeria. And according to Obi, it seems that he is not giving up. But there are some places I can recommend for you to take a look at those who have tried to challenge that same system, like what Obi explained and expressed. In his word, he himself is scared of what you all are planning to do with what they are already doing. According to the man who is Obi's first handler, Donyo Okupe, a former personal assistant to the president of Nigeria, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, the man that said Nigeria was not due for a proper modern train system, trainer system. He said Nigerians should be managing the locomotive, whatever is given. I have that video, by the way, but he has something to say, to explain to you how the entire structure of Nigeria is not giving them a breathing space. And if you mock them that they don't have people that comes out anymore, is because the system in Nigeria, they have started work on you. I'm not trying to scare you, but Okupe explained what happened in Nasarawa, where Obi launched this campaign. The underhand, behind the scene deals, power play that could have stopped people from coming there. Credit of this clip goes to the channel's television. It is theirs. It's just a tiny one. I beg you, for my friends. Listen to Okupe before we go to Obi himself.
In Nasarawa, we were served by the ruling party or ruling government a good shot. You will not believe it that we did not get the final permit for the landing of the helicopters of our principals until the morning, that Saturday morning, of the rally. That's one. Number two, the venues, I sent 22-member, advance team. But for 48 hours, they could not do anything because we could not even get permit among the 3 or 4 various venues we have chosen. The government was not available to give us permit. But for the intervention of some very high-level royal people, you know, in Lafia, that rally would not have held. Then the master blow that they dealt us with was in Nasarawa. For the past 7 or 8 years, nobody has ever heard of environmental sanitation. But government from nowhere on Thursday declared that Saturday an environmental sanitation day, declared a curfew the night before on Friday. I hope you understand. And that nobody can move until 10 a.m. on Saturday. So it was impossible. The people you saw there were the people we managed and struggled, you know, and our what do you call it, support groups, you know, brought together from Lafia and environment alone. 90% of our supporters all over the state could not get access. They could not even come, you know, because, I mean, some people are living 3 hours away, some 2 hours away, you know, they will not be able to leave their places until 10. And on Friday, they were not, you know, they could not go out in the evening. So all those things happened, but we give glory to God. It's a beginning. It's okay. We're
so
fine.
Somehow, you know, you're alleging that the All Progressives Congress.
I'm not alleging. I'm making a statement of fact.
I know. I mean,
you can check it. No, you can check it. There were, you know, they actually announced an environmental sanitation that Saturday. That has not happened for 7 years.
It's called power play. In Edo State, in Rivers State, Atiku's posters are not welcome. In Edo State, Tifnumbu's posters are not welcomed. If you have to, you pay so much to put up Tifnumbu's. Sorry, my camera is having flickers, isn't it? Right? It's like blinking, isn't it? I don't know what to do. I'll fix it as much as, you know, I've tried to do something there, but I don't think it worked. Please bear with me, okay? I know it can be very annoying, isn't it? Right? Like, and, you know, and it's so distracting as well. Sorry about that, okay? So they can deal you that blow. But for somebody like Obi to finally confess to his followers, is preparing you for what is still to come. And seriously, it is going to get worse and dirty and dirty. Somebody came out and he said, in fact, it was APC, Egbekegbe, that came out and said, since Obi has been going about that he wants to be president, have you seen any major Igbo billionaire that publicly identify with him? I'm talking about major. When I say major, somebody that you know, they are political, whatever, you know what I mean? Like something that would say the Igbos, the prominent Igbos are behind him, like they should hold it and they're like, you know, kind of walk about it and say, well, he's our son. They can't. That's what Obi said. He said, some of them can't, they don't even pick his call anymore because they don't know who is listening. They would deal with them. They would destroy them because, like I said, majority of them make their money from looting you, from joining hands in destroying Nigeria. Do you understand that? So, if they try to show that their loyalty is to Obi, the system will crush them. And that is a battle that is not even at the ballot box. Like PVC can't fix that. You know that. But again, for the diary,
I'm contesting this election because I'm the most qualified. And I want people to come out and say what is there. Let us put everything we have on the table. We are looking for hiring the next managing director of the corporation called Nigeria. And the only way you hire a managing director to run your company is to look at his past. Where is he coming from? What is the educational background? Which schools have he passed through? In terms of all people contesting this election, whether it's for one day, I've passed far better schools than anybody. It is not about degrees you earn. It is our education is about the exposure and where you've passed through. I passed through the best schools anybody can think in the world if it's in terms of education. I'm a businessman, a successful businessman who have worked hard and built my business. I'm a corporate person. I've served as director and chaired corporations. I've been a governor. One that when I finished in 2015, I became the best governor in terms of implementing MDG, which is the global measure to measure development, which is what China, India, Vietnam, everybody applied to put their people out of poverty. And above all, I'm the only one who left money. So if you say you want to fight corruption, let's go to where you served last and know how much money you left, whether there's anything you left. So that but let's know what is missing there. I left money, which I could have taken like every other person. I have no single land allocated to myself, my wife, or my children, or anybody. I've been one person who is serving today, whose wife and children is not involved in anything he's doing. They face their little jobs, earning their little pennies, and live their normal life. Like
that's just an intro. I am Peter Obi. I've been a businessman. I've been a governor. I served. I left money. I didn't steal money. That stuff. I didn't have any land allocated to me. If you see any in my name, take it. He said, even with all of this, I am still being attacked. While the people who stole your money are being praised and defended. This is what I'm going through. My fellow obedient, Abi, there is more. Listen to this.
My brother Jack, there's so many things that happen in this country that doesn't happen anywhere in the world. That's why I keep saying about rule of law. Law and order. An environment where everybody will live a normal life. As a governor, I kept preaching this. Not everybody in the state will like me. Today, I say the same thing. So, for me, this is what I'm preaching. I must serve Nigerians faithfully, where those who are with me, those who are not with me, everybody will not become members of political parties in the sense that they will say where they belong. In America, in every other part of the world, you're free to say, I'm a businessman. But I can tell you, today, there's people who don't want to see me by the day. There are people who don't want to answer my phone because of fear of the society we live in. Everybody lives in fear. I live in fear. So it doesn't make sense. Nobody lives in that kind of country. We're Nigerians. We live in fear. You're not free to do anything. What they're doing to your account, you can imagine what they're doing to me. Every day, if you're not asking this question, they're asking that question. Nobody gives you. This is a country where only criminals survive. Nobody, if you're honest, nobody calls you, nobody does anything with you. Otherwise, nobody will be asking me questions after I freely left. As of the day I left office, a equivalent of $500 million. In other countries that are winning an award, here you are criminalized for leaving it. But those who stole it are actually given the honor. So it's a country that is opposite. So don't worry, I'll ask the question. But there's so many things that
Obi, sorry, don't cry, sorry. If you are honest in Nigeria, nobody will have any deal with you. That is true. Maiyegun is not true. I am honest. Adamu Olodo. I am a very, very, okay. How much has that honesty now hand you? How much? Is a den of thieves, and you know yourselves. You do. Change because of small crime. Where I do small crime. You cannot compare that one to our thieves. We know now, na category of thieves. Now you can only steal what you have access to. You where they steal, where they do small crime. Now because in a small crime you get access to. If they give you access to a bigger crime, a bigger one, maybe say if you do whatever you like. Are you with me? You will understand that you can do more. And nobody can tell you what you are capable of doing, my brother. When they said Abacha looted this, and I say, all that money. Waiting Abacha wanted that. Oh, this Olodo. Now waiting small boy the pocket for inside Buhari's government today, because time has changed. Now the access where you get go determine which crime you go commit against, and the bigger the crime you commit against Nigeria, belonging to the right clique, the better reward you will get. That's what he meant, and he's right. He left money. They didn't dispute that. He is part of the system. He is disputing that. Like, well, I was, but I did well. High right. Listen to the concluding part. He said more. Here is another one.
They face their little jobs, earning their little pennies, and live their normal life like every other person. Every other person have turned the whole thing into a family affair. But I've not done that. So I'm applying for this job, knowing fully well that I have the capacity to do the job. And the mayor tell them, the biggest, P2B says every day, the biggest assets of Nigeria, physical assets, is the vast uncultivated land in Nigeria. If I'm given the opportunity to serve this country, the North will forever remain something that they will know that they have voted somebody they will forever remain grateful and proud of, because I'm going to change the North. Those vast land Nigeria have today, over 50% of its fertile arable land are cultivated. No other nation in the world can say it's not like that. Not one. So we need to cultivate it. We need to deal with it. I don't want to go into it. So if they're telling you is where I come from, tell them that you have somebody who is coming to change Nigeria. Ending their little.
Northern Nigeria, northern land, we developed the north. They are going to be so grateful. Carry Jare, our Lord and our Savior. Why bother? For real, why you bother? When everybody can develop in their own, at their own pace, if indeed Nigeria is a country, but Nigeria is not a country. So whatever you are proposing, I don't know what they do to Rambo, but you don't talk. But he's a fighter. That's what his friend said. And the obedient, and I believe them. I believe you, obedient. Every day, when I realize that the establishment is now ready, okay, to do whatever within their capacity, to cripple you, frustrate you, and show you why those who tried in the past, in their wisdom and time, that they wanted to save Nigeria, why they failed. And they ended up being part of that destructive Nigeria. And those who were too strong or strong-headed, they didn't live to tell the story. Now they tell them in your stories now. I remember. You are remembering them now. The killers, the criminals who kept Nigeria underdeveloped, deliberately, intentionally, they are still ruling you. Are you with me? So they will show to you that the only thing Maiyegun waiting we will can't do. I have said it many times. It is not popular First, you have to run these criminals out of town. How do you do that successfully? It is this spontaneous, unseen, but so near and so close revolution that they will push you into. Now, when everybody, they light everybody, say this, no, we don't believe anything anymore. We're soldiers, Nigerian army, they will be dropping their own uniform and everything, and they will join you and say, no, you see all these criminals, eh? This is it. We are not interested anymore. A bigger revolution that will consume Nigeria, not because you're going to sit down and plan it. But for those of you who don't have plan B, and your plan B is Japa, now that they are banning Nigeria visa and banning Nigerians here and there from, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, when Japa no go walk, where you go run to? Run on the ground. I have said it. When, if we want to make an headway, a serious one that can impact our lives and the lives of those that are going to come after us, you should stop chasing shadows and let's join hands and demand for a peaceful dissolution of this current fraudulent, manipulative, injustice system called Nigeria. You can dismantle it, but they are making you chase shadow. I mean, to chase a shadow and all of that. No wahala. So you must be so strong, ready for jail. You would be pursued. They will chase you down, close your account, chase your businesses, and they will do everything. But if you all kind of sustain them and you make your word a reality, Maiyegun, we will shock you too. Except you shock all of us and yourself. It's better you know that your plan B to get out of this whole mess is beyond your PVC, as they say. But I remember telling people, I said, listen, even though we are not interested in their charade called election, but we must also be interested in the cooking that is going to either make or mar the fraud that these guys have managed and kept for so long. That is why we have to be interested, because the PVC is what they said they want to use to get their freedom from their criminal leaders. Now, if they manage, to make it down to that ballot, and they are convinced that they are rigged out, that same PVC could, actually mean a key to freedom too. I'm still trying to figure out how the theory is going to work anyway, but somehow there are pointers. They said if they rig us out, we go show them. Now that show them, I won't see. In my book, that is the cooking of the revolution. But in a book, Atiku's book, all of these are because you are Southerner. Maiyegun, forget it. You are talking because you are a Southerner. You are seeing Nigeria as a Southerner. All this ale grag, this whole thing. Once the North take a stand, everybody where they shout go run away. Maiyegun, forget it. You serve, Maiyegun. They no born you where you know go come back Nigeria. Say okay. Now you be cool. But Obedience said they are going to surprise you. They will retire your criminal leaders. They said they will make Obi the president of Nigeria, and that is going to change everything. That shock, and you they wait for. But again, it won't be surprising when you roll out your tanks, to shoot at them, to chase them. The question we should be asking is, what if they reject or they refuse to be chased away, refuse to be deterred by the killings and everything that may follow? What if the same Nigeria system and criminals in Nigeria who have been using the same instrument of state to suppress and oppress and kill their own citizens that disagrees with all their wrongs, right? What if they now overwhelm everyone, and you can't really use those resources against your citizens anymore. The question we should be asking is this: Obedienti, are you really ready for the 2023 charade? Bleed for it, get killed for it, get jailed for it, lose your life investment for it, lose your savings for it, your business for it, because these are the possibilities. Obi can tell you better. Maybe he won't tell you all of it, because it won't happen to all of you. But I'm saying, as long as you publicly say, we are taking back our court, as they say, and you have something to lose, are you willing to lose them and ready to possibly take this guy up? If at the end of the day, your OB doesn't even make it up to 4th position, because they can make that happen. You don't understand, do you? Aha. They can make that happen. And then you do all you have to do. And then by the time they begin to roll out their numbers, you'll be asking yourselves, where are these numbers coming from? It's coming from the stable of your oppressors. Because they know the game better. They set the rules. They wrote, you see all these rules that all of you are trying to walk around. They set those rules. And they will never set up anything that is going to take that power away from them. And I said, is this like betting against the house? You can never win the house. No, you can't. If you think you are winning, you are losing. If you pay attention very well. That's what Nigeria represents. That is what the owners of Nigeria represent. You belong to them. Just do what they ask you to do. Punish the people. Keep them poorer. Give them hope that will never happen. And then just do yours and go. And then until another person's turn. So if they now unleash all these resources, are you going to run away into your cocoons? I'm not trying to mock you, but they believe that you have nothing that it takes. You don't have what it takes. You're obedient and everything. They are stronger. They are more louder in southern Nigeria. That is the southern autonomy, southern independence, the southern region that should be your own priority, that should never take order, directive, and control from the northern part, which is led by narcissistic criminals, corrupt entities who live off what could have been the resources that could have helped millions of people in southern Nigeria. They can call it whatever they are calling it. And the people from northern Nigeria may listen and believe in them as much as they want. But guess what? The southern Nigeria can do better without these leeches. But you fighting to vote and keep Nigeria one and the rest of that is the blood, or let me say, is the blood supply that has kept Nigeria this long, while we bleed and die in the consequences of those who have had the chance of directing our own lives. So if you have energy in you, if you have something that you think is right than what Nigeria is offering, you end up having to use that for the southern region of Nigeria, and you probably make sense out of this whole thing when that time comes. It is Nigeria. It has a way of making you regret ever hoping that it's going to get better. And you call that missed opportunities. Oh, it's always a missed opportunity. No, it's not missed opportunities. Because every time you think you want to try to beat them, you have no idea that you are actually doing that using their own playbook, their rule book, something they write. Somebody said, if you want to defeat the criminals in Nigeria, let us go through the right channels. Let us go through the right channels. And I told people, I said, there's no right channels. People telling you to go through the right channels to defeat these criminals, they are the agent of the criminals. Because the right channels they are telling you to go through are the channels that they own. It is their channel. Go and register to vote. They own that channel. Whenever you have don't submit your gun. They say submit your guns. Because the police, if you have any problem, call the police. Because they control the police. If the people comes around and to attack your villages and the rest of that, don't ever fight back. If you kill any Fulani, they will kill all of you there and the rest of that. Just call the army. They control the army. If you feel slighted, if you feel cheated, if you feel like your human rights, have been, your fundamental human rights have been violated, go to court because they control the courts. So when they say right channels, it's because they control the right channels. They own the book. They set the rules. Even when you think you are winning, you are losing. And that is why the only language they never like, the one that actually alter the status quo, the one that can change the status quo, is a revolution. No, but not them go cause some. No be say, don't worry, not them. You go participate. Some of you, when they say revolution, you say, no, we don't need Olodo. You don't need it, Abi. Now Nigeria will give them to you. When the NSAS started, I know so many of you who turned to activists because of NSAS. Honestly speaking, I don't like talking in public, but you see what they did with that Olodo. Don't worry, that's how it happens. Maybe most of you like to follow trends, and most of you are wannabes. When that time comes, you will join them too. That should be your plan B for those who probably want to have the plan B or not. However, for those who don't have any, the Biafrans are not giving up on Nnamdi Kanu. It is one goal and one goal only. Nnamdi Kanu has managed. The IPOB have defeated all the lies of Nigeria. You might still keep believing them, but it's becoming so embarrassing now that Nigeria continue to disobey their own courts, even when Buhari said, let the court decide. I'm talking about Buhari. Ahmed, I hope you are with us tonight. You're going to do some interpretation for me tonight on what Buhari is saying, right? But the same Buhari just told people, and he said, if all of you are if you are complaining of hunger, there is hunger. Shut up your mouth. There is land everywhere. Go see, land is everywhere. Go and start farming. God will give you water, which is the rain. Go and use that and start farming. I don't understand the Hausa, but yeah, Allah. No. Oh, I'm a terrible learner. Let's listen to this again before we go to Aba in Abia State.
To an yi wani na ce mutane ko tun da muna da ƙasa Allah kuma ya ba da ruwa to wani dalili ɗan Najeriya zai je shi sai yana jin yunwa ya je ya noma mana akwai ma'aikatan da suka bar ofis da air condition suka je suka yi noma kuma suka amfana da yawa to alhamdulillah mutane in ma ba sai da Allah ba ai yunwa cikin su ta gaya musu ko da aka rufe hanyoyi ba
I heard that those who are educated and working in offices, that they are now investing in agriculture and they are making so much money. Then if you are complaining that you don't have money, you are hungry, and you have land everywhere, go and cultivate the land. God will give you water, rain will come, and you can feed yourselves. Ahmed will come and do the proper interpretation later, okay? However, let's take a tour to Abia, where the people of Biafra defied all odds, and they staged a peaceful 1 million, 10 million, whatever you want to call it, bold people, free Nnamdi Kanu. I mean, obey your own courts. Your courts, no be citizen, no be international court. Your own courts. A lawless place called Nigeria. You might use this as well to see how, what's that guy's name? Ikpeazu. Who is that guy in Abia? Your governor in Abia? Ikpeazu, Abi. Ikpeazu. The one in Enugu is Eguayin or Eguayin, right? I don't know. I think Eguayin or Eguayin. I don't know. Where they have been bombing some communities in the last few days. They rounded it up yesterday. Nigerian Air Force bombing civilians, bombing communities like they have been doing in Olu and Ozu in Imo State. They have been doing that in Enugu. But I'll come back to that. Let's go to Aba, where the people are like, no. If you want kill us, kill us. If you want jail us, jail us. You can't continue to keep an innocent man in prison. I don't care what they told you.
And you can hear them loud and clear. They are asking Buhari to release Nnamdi Kanu. They are telling Buhari to obey court order.
And that's just the spot. Another part of the town of Aba today captured by the Good Samaritans who shared this with us. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for sharing this with us. So I don't know your name. I got it online and it's quite interesting, if you ask me, for people to be bold enough with, despite the fact that Boko Haram has militarized eastern Nigeria for the past 6 years. Can you believe that? Soldiers have been changed, sent there to, and soldiers in eastern Nigeria are counting how many people they have killed. Can you believe that? So Musa 7, Musa is leading. He's killed 11 Igbo. He has killed 11 Nigerians or 11 people in Igbo land because they accuse them of being IPOB. Can you believe that? That's what we call the genocide that is ongoing, and it's been going on now for the last 6 years in eastern part of Nigeria. So for people to come out and say, we don't give a damn. I mean, we're not slaves. Why is this happening? For whatever it may cost, well, we'll remind you, let an innocent man go.
4th of November 2022, IPOB members have come out in their numbers to demand for the release of their leader, Nnamdi Kanu. We are saying, let the Nigerian government obey court order.
Yes, it's happening live at Abia State. Biafrans come out in mass to demand for unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu.
And release our leader.
As you can see, both Biafran men, women, and children, they come out in mass to demand for this simple thing, that the federal government should obey court order and release Nnamdi Kanu. We are reporting to you live. This is Umuchukwu Writers reporting. Sorry.
I have another one. This one is like a closer in another segment of the town, another part of the town as well. Watch it.
He's another savior. Holy, holy, holy. Nnamdi Kanu is 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 another savior.
Onye du iPod, o meriwo n'izu onire ya. Abakare, mama dawora, unapori meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's three. Unapori meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's the three. Unapori meri Nnamdi bu onye du iPod, o meriwo n'izu ndiro ya. Abakare, mama ndawora, unapori meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's the three. Unapori meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's the three. Unapori meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's the three. Unapori meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's the three. Unapori meri Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's the three. Unapori meri Nnamdi.
You, Baba. And that is from Abia. And we will continue to wait for the legal tussle that's going to take place at the Nigerian Supreme Court, where Nnamdi Kanu's the case challenging the the abuse or violation of Nnamdi Kanu's fundamental human rights by Nigeria, which they are not ready to own up to. So we'll wait for that. And then, like I said, they have been pushing, or should I say, kicking the can down the road, like trying to shift the date of their disgrace. But it seems like the bigger the disgrace, the better it's going to be, or the effective it's going to be. And on Nnamdi Kanu, like I told somebody, they have lost the plot. Whatever they planned or plotted in 2015 when they went after him, it seems that they've missed the mark. They've reached the dead end. The best thing they could do is to let him go. Even if it's so uncomfortable to do. He's like a fish bone stuck in Nigerians' throats. You would have to be very, very careful. You can't swallow it and you can't vomit it. You have to be what? Very, very careful, because you are going to feel a serious discomfort, if not more. That's what Nnamdi Kanu has become. It shouldn't become this, it shouldn't be this hard nut to crack, but it's proven to be a very, very tough nut to crack. Or should I say, he is a tough nut to crack by Buhari. If they want to save themselves from anything, if not me, I'll save myself from any further embarrassment. The one that could actually eventually cost me my own liberty too. I don't know if they have so many people who are probably advising them, so to say, but power trip, power ego, or ego tripping. That's something that is so common among people who have power or who have had power. Somebody should tell them. If there's any time for Buhari and gang to probably take a break sign out and surrender, that they have failed, whatever plot they had against the Igbos through Nnamdi Kanu and the rest, this is not working. In fact, it has brought much ridicule, disgrace to Nigerian judiciary, this Buhari's government. If I was them, or if I were them, I'll stop now. But again, the, what do you call it? The analogy of a stubborn fly or a greedy fly who shared your bear with you and then became so greedy that it has to follow a dead body into the grave. And I think that is exactly what Nigeria, or let's say Malamu and Buhari are doing to Nnamdi Kanu, the Igbos, in the name of Nigeria. They won't listen until this ruins them, as it has ruined so much of Nigeria reputation. You may not agree, but the whole world knows. If you are looking for the textbook definition of a failure, you will only be an hypocrite to say you can't find any so easy. And you have APC around you. You have Buhari around you. I mean, you must be an hypocrite. So I was waiting for Ahmed to come and help me interpret these jargons that Buhari said. And that is going to be where I'm going to put my break. And when I get back, which is going to be a while. So don't go anywhere. You can still like this video, share it, and even subscribe before you go to bed or go to work or continue working or whatever you're doing, okay? I'm going to come back and take a few calls, and that one of those calls could be yours. But don't go anywhere. If you understand Hausa very well, I want you to help me interpret what Buhari is saying here. I heard the part that go back to the farm. He said other things. Just for a few minutes. Ahmed will help me out anyway, but I will be back.
Kudin ne zahiri ba abun kudi ba. An kai saurare da yawa an jibge. Wasu cikin rumbu inda ake sa hatsi, wasu sun haka rami a makabartu sun rufe, wasu sun sa a gidan kaji, wasu sun kai waje da sauransu. An san same su har nuna mana hotuna na irin waɗannan mutane.
Ba an kai su wurin shari'a ba?
A su kudin ne nake tunani. Su kan wancan an kai su wajen shari'a an kakkama wasu da ake cewa kuma daga baya ma an yafe musu ko an sallame su.
A'a ba dai yafewa ba. Ni ba da za a kama mutum da laifi irin wannan. In aka yi shurun hukuma wurin alkalai to sai abin da alkalai suka yi. Amma canzan alkalai nawa na yi ni.
Ga biyu da zaka ba mu misali karo uku.
To ai ka san ko a kundin Najeriya na mulki ai alkalai suna kan sha'aninsu daban, ba a sa baki a cikin sha'aninsu. Sai dai abinda mutane suka gani in sun tabbatar suna iya nunawa, albashi su je su gaya ma 'yan jarida, su gaya muku ku je ku yi musu terere.
Muna terere?
A terere to ai ba ka ce ba mutane suna laifi ba a yi masu komai ba, to a faɗi waɗanda suka yi laifi da laifin da suka yi, kuma gwamnati ta sani ta kyale su.
Magana canjin alƙalai da kai Allah ya taimake ka ai da wake ganin kaman abin nan ne, nama ya da roman kuma ɗanye. Sama an zo da gyara amma ƙasar nan da maganganu.
Wa ya kamata ya gyara?
Wallahi ban sani ba, Allah ya taimake.
Ya baka sani ba.
To gwamnati.
Ba gwamnati ba. Wanda aka nada, idan aka ce yanzu kai in minista ne, in wani abu ya abu a inda kake minista ba kai za a tambaya ba? Saboda haka waɗanda suke da gwamnoni a jihar da aka yi da kuma ministan, abin da ya kamata mutane in sun tabbatar da abin da suka faɗa su je su kai ƙara. Yana cikin haƙƙinsu na 'yan ƙasa, in sun ga abin da ake ba daidai ba wanda yake cuto ƙasa su yi magana a kan shi.
Da wuya?
To ya kuke so a gyara, ko ya kake so a gyara, tunda kai kake tambaya ta?
Yau ni yadda nake so ba ya ta samu ba. Ni yanda nake so ne ba ma za a yi laifin ba. Shi ko dan adam tunda haka Allah ya halice mu haka ya raba shi.
Okay. Let me save you the stress or
no, I was listening. He was
so no,
I was
you,
listening.
Ahmed.
I didn't listen.
Yeah, sorry, no, you Ahmed, because I finally got Ahmed. But listening to Buhari can be a little bit depressing. And somehow, not even understanding what he's saying can further more depressive. So, Ahmed, the part you heard, Epos, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Well, you know, Maiyegun, I'm doing okay. How are you doing, bro?
I am very well. Thanks, Baba. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, you see, this would, you know, it is like, how would I even put it? Northerners need to see through all this, what this guy is saying. If you are sincere, kai da kake Bahaushi, da kake kallon program. 1 minute, Maiyegun, I want to say something because watching that video, there is one or two things I just picked out. Kai da kake Bahaushi, kake kallon abinda Buhari ke gaya a kai yanzu ga haka. Sai ka tambayi kanka. Wannan alƙawarin da Buhari ya ɗauka kenan ya san da cewar damun akwai wanda zai sa a wurin su yi abin da ya kamata in ba su yi ba ka je ka rike su ba shi ba. To wannan alamun munafiki kenan kusan cewar Buharin ku munafiki ne. Munafiki ne. Dan in ba munafurci ba ka ce za ka iya, ka ce Jonathan yayi kaza, ka ce wa'annan su Obasanjo, ka ce sai yar aduwa. Yau ga ka kai ne a mulki amma sai iskanci da ƙaryan tsiya kake. And wasu daga cikin ku kuna bakin din wannan matsiyacin, wannan munafikin, wannan shegen dan banza dan matsiyaciya. Maiyegun, you see what he was saying there? This guy is an hypocrite.
Honestly.
And the people around him, they are big-time hypocrites. If not, why would someone like Buhari, who has bashed every government that comes in, telling them he is the best, now coming to tell you that, oh, if something is not done, if you come to a place, something is not done, it is someone who he put in charge that you are supposed to hold responsible.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. If you say so,
taking responsibility, I said nobody should ask him
anything. He's not taking responsibility. That nobody should ask him anything. They should go and ask the people. Okay. If that is the case, then we will hold him responsible because he is the Minister of Petroleum. This animal, this he-goat, he is the Minister of Petroleum. We will hold him responsible. And you will see people will listen to this and they will be okay. It shall not be well with all of you.
Amen.
All of you.
Amen.
What kind of nonsense is this? No, you said people should go back to the farm.
You know one thing, Ahmed, somebody said,
yeah.
Is it not an hypocrisy for Tifnumbu of APC to say he's going to rescue Nigeria from terrorists? He's going to rescue Nigeria from economic ruin. Is that not like APC saying they want to rescue Nigeria from APC? Is that not
from APC? Someone that told you in 2015. Can you imagine someone that told you in 2015, oh, we'll give you a job, we'll do this, now trying to tell you they want to rescue, they want to do this hope. What kind of hope are they going to build for you?
No,
is it until you are dead,
Ahmed,
tired and buried?
Let me explain again, okay? Like Tinubu is campaigning like he's an independent candidate, okay? Who want to rescue Nigeria
they shouldn't
from
attack,
APC.
Yes.
Sure, you get now. This is not like, they have been ruling, right? So they are lying to you now that, we want to continue. No. If you listen to Tifnumbu very well and the rest, they are using Buhari's failure, right? As their campaign strategy to say Nigeria is done for, okay?
Maiyegun, I understand. What I'm trying to tell you now is, what I'm trying to now say here is, if the people they are telling are so senseless, they need to go back. Who is the person that told them that Buhari is capable? Is he not the same animal that is telling them that he wants to rescue you from that same thing they brought you in?
Let me play you
now because all of them they don't get sense.
It will help your position a bit. Okay, it's just about 35 seconds. Ahmed, Watch.
Oh, yeah.
Truly say to yourself that our country has changed for the better. Are our children safe when they go to school? Are our parents safe when we leave them at home? Is the naira in your bank account of greater value today than it was 4 years ago? I am Muhammad Buhari. I am urging you.
Is the value of naira in your pocket today, Ahmed? Good.
Maiyegun, olórí burúkú ni Buhari.
Talking about
Ayé Buhari ò ní dá. Ayé Buhari ò ní dá. Look, Maiyegun, this guy is an idiot. Look at what he was saying. He's talking about food.
Or the people listening to
He's an idiot.
Okay.
He's an idiot. They are all idiots. They are all idiots. Okay, now this guy is talking about, everybody should go to the farm. You didn't go to the farm. You are saying you are hungry. Then if you are hungry, then pray to God. Is it a farm that terrorists are stopping them from going to go and farm, or which farm are you telling them to go? So they can go and get kidnapped?
You know what somebody told me?
You
know what somebody told me? He said, Maiyegun wahala ti wa o. This time that Buhari is saying people should go back to the farm, go back to the farm. At least if you go back to the farm, you go with your cutlass and everything, Abi. He said for small play, court boys, they won't go initiate another new members in the deep forest. Baba, now so Fulani terrorists kidnap all of them. Those who want to initiate people, the people where they want to initiate, now they can't negotiate for ransom now. So going back to the farm in the hands of a terrorist. Maybe Buhari just want the industry of the terrorism to keep flourishing. I don't know. Like
to keep flourishing. Oh no, which kind wahala be this, for goodness sake? And in scam Tomalo non yet to just say this same scam. I don't tell people say ewa make una come. Islam, then so Islam. You guys are working. Oh, you are more Muslim. You are not more Muslim than me.
You're not.
Islam so preach Islam. And how would you do that? Your ways should be clean, and your ways should be pure.
Somebody will see you and be like, oh,
yes.
Like this person.
But àwọn ẹni tẹ́ ń tẹ̀lé tó ń pọ̀lọ́ nkùnrin tó ń sọ pé kìíní tẹ́ ń wò pé àáfà ni wọn, àwọn olórí burúkú, they are all associates, gbogbo wọn, they are doing all these things together, wọ́n jọ ń jẹun papọ̀ ni. The last time I went back home, I told you, na their midst, dem born me, na their bro. Egun ẹja ni mí, àbí egun kìíní for their neck, they no fit do nothing, they no fit do anything. They no fit do anything. They no fit do anything. Torí wọ́n mọ̀ pé if you don't, má bà yín jẹ́. Wàláhì má bà yín wọn jẹ́. So as I go back home, I dey tell them, say, come, make any of una. No be once, no be twice. But you see, towards this Buhari 2019, the thing come worst. We be say, ìgbà tí mo travel tí mo padà lọ, when I sit down with people, I go dey tell them, I say, come, if these people they come out, we don't see say this religious thing wey they use. Religion where we believe they use keep our life, they do it we they do. We don't use anybody. We don't want to make anybody come they use the religion.
They are Muslims. Where's the religion?
I can't tell them, say, do you know that all of Unamala we on they listen to? We are they insult them. Wọ́n bú wọn lójú wọn bú mi máa ní orí bú mi orí ẹ̀ ti dàrú. They say, ka daina zagi mana malamani da kai da malamin kun ci uwa. Now so I they insult them, and nothing they fit do in front of anybody. Now so I they insult them. So as I can't they talk now, I can't they tell them. I say, see, make I tell you now. On a mala no Muslim reach me. For in house who be Christian way in turn to Muslim. Abi who no get religion way in call Islam. None. Now still one of now we say them ball inside Islam. We wanna they grow inside Islam. We they teach now. But me as I did. My wife, in African America, right. My wife know they do any religion. I be Muslim. Timba Shidada Koni Wupe, she like him, follow me. 13 years and still counting.
Somebody told me. Somebody said that. He said Maiyegun. Anytime you meet somebody, right, and you want to either go into relationship with them, or you want to go into, especially if you want to go into business with them, which is going to involve money, right? And before they say 2-3 things, they started throwing it like, I mean, God. You know, all those people like, I trust God. I believe that God is going to help us out in this idea. In fact, I know that the God that I serve, if you love yourself, run.
If you don't use for Niger, anybody
if you saw Niger, if you meet any Niger anywhere, they'll start his conversation or a conversation with, sir, you know what? Well, it is business, so money. If you have time, run. Because they are the easy,
Baba, if you wait,
easy tip that these fraudulent people can use to get to you. Politicians have been using that all the time. Religion, God, and all that.
Maiyegun, I don't think if you have sat with a core northerner that really believes Muslimi gongo. Baba, if you hear the way you go the talk, Wama will say, no, kitchen say Wama will say Muslimi. If na person will say you don't even know about Islam,
right?
You go feel Wama will say when you want shame. But if you know about Islam, you go they look say abolori buruku lele ni kilo mu ere abi ele ija were mo tile ni abi bawo. You understand? Maiyegun, God will save these people. Among we serve before God will come save. We serve.
God bless you.
We go because the thing don't enter our mouth now. God will save us. But shall we believe now we will save ourselves?
That's a natural thing, Ahmed. When it gets to a stage when you talk about Nigeria issue and the rest of them, after sharing your solution, just feel like except something is done, then maybe God will have to
I'm telling you.
Thank you, Ahmed. Make I take this one, So I have another caller. Again, if you're still watching, especially on YouTube, you can still like this video. Facebook sent me a message and they said they are going to keep the reach of my content lower for 36 days more. So if you're watching me on Facebook, you are lucky that somebody probably managed to share it and you saw it, or you got notification as among the minute people that they wanted to see this. But if you join us on YouTube and you are still there, you can still like this video to show that you are there, okay? Before we go. Sorry, my caller, for keeping you there. Hello there.
Hello, Maiyegun, what's going on, man?
Oh, well, everything is all right. How you doing, Baba?
Baba, I did, Jerry. How your side down? Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Anywhere you are in the whole world, man.
I don't know what happened to your line the last time. You tried twice and it never got through. How are you?
Yeah, no mind where I did. Now once ago, I drive through that time, Jerry. Yeah, I'm even in a suburb too now. Anyway, driving through a suburb again. Anyway, make I start like this, my brother. Make Obi go read Awolowo memoir. You can't change the Northerners. Awolowo tried to do it. He regretted. All palace. Kolomba Fonke Babayin, Babari, to Nino River, Yoruba, to the Kashuri, to Nikalokawi.
God bless you.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni tó ní káàkiri kò sí ètò ìdílé ń sáwọn àdánrí olórí burúkú tó kóra wọn jọ tó ń pariwo pa àwọn làwọn sí nǹkan kan. Ìyẹn kan. Number 2, máa ń sọ several times ń pé ọ máa frustrate àwọn obedience. Ọ máa frustrate àwọn obedience last ni because Nigeria is all about selection, not election. Àwọn people yìí wọ́n lọ́pọlọ ó dẹ̀ máa ń yà mí lẹ́nu pé they can easily be fooled. You know, they use all on our musicians to show the world, say, the youth are ready and are interested in the politics of Nigeria. You know, INEC staged a show Atiku yes back then tó bá rántí tí gbogbo àwọn Mr. Macaroni gbogbo wọn àwọn tí gbèsè gbogbo wọn ọlọ́kọrin wọn ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ wọ́n ní is our time we use your PVC. Ọmọ pilot fi wọn pọ̀wọ́ pilot fi wọn make statement wọn àwọn òyìnbó ní pé ṣe rí. Àwọn youth yìí náà wà ready wọ́n fẹ́ follow kíní. Ìbọn níbẹ̀ kan lọ kí youth wà involved. Nísìnyí youth mélòó ló wà nínú presidential aspirant. Èyí tá a bá tún máa pè ní youth náà ní ìṣòwò rẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni èyí tá a máa pè ní youth nù wọn òun náà ní ìṣòwò rẹ̀ ìmọ̀ lọ́ọ́ ti gba sínsìn. Tó yẹ pé òkè a lè sọ pé òkè òkun ló tún kéré nù wọn àbí ọ̀gàn. Jẹ́ kí ariwo ṣòwò rẹ̀ lọ mọ́ ṣòwò rẹ̀ kọ́ ọlọ́run ọ̀gá àánú bàbá yẹn kọ́ tèmi ṣáájú ẹ̀. Tinubu ti sọ pé àwọn Yorùbá rọ́kù ọmọ Nàìjíríà wọ́n rọ́kù bí wèrè nǹkan tó jẹ́ fi ń wù wá nìyẹn. Ọ̀n ti ta bá yí ojú padà sí wọn kọ́ tó mọ̀ pa ṣèrè kọ́ tó mọ̀ kó lórí burúkú pọ̀ nu àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá gan àrọ́kù rárá nítorí pé kí ni láflas a ṣe máa pọ̀ ta ni a ṣe máa fà wọ́n lẹ́pọ̀n ta ni wọ́n máa bẹ̀bẹ̀ mo ti máa ń sọ ti pẹ́ pé Samuel dolodin àbí irọ́ mi pé eré làwọn èèyàn ẹ̀ ń ṣe ó ń dùn mọ́ àbí tó bá yẹ máa sọ pé mo fọlọ́ ń bẹ̀yìn àwọn olórí burúkú kan náà máa jáde wọ́n ń ṣàgbàlagbà bẹ́ẹ̀ wo ẹ lọ bèèrè lọ́wọ́ Samuel dolodin tó wà nígbà tí wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣe àwọn èèyàn kan ṣe jáde nígbà yẹn pé wọ́n ń ṣàgbàlagbà bẹ́ẹ̀ àbí wọ́n ṣe president bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe wọ́n pé lórí burúkú ló pọ̀ jù anybody tí revolution bá ti dé anybody tó bá ń jáde tó sọ fún mi pé wọ́n àgbàlagbà kan lé kiri fọ́ yẹ lójú kẹ gún pa kò ní já fún yàrá yẹn mi tó ti ń bọ̀ because tó bá jẹ́ pé o mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kò jẹ́ oúnjẹ kúrúkú wọn máa bọ́ síta kó máa pín oúnjẹ ni. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni tó bá yá sí àwọn tó wá sínú omi títì kò sẹ́nìbọ̀dì tó máa jókòó sílé mọ́ ìgboro ni a máa wá àwọn wèrè yẹn kiri kí bọ́dà ayé ìyá aláya yín máa bàjẹ́ ní sẹ́ ọ̀nà yúrókù ọ̀nà ọ̀dùsẹ̀mẹ̀ níbo lè fẹ́ gbà ẹ bá fẹ́ gbójú omi a máa lọ síbi lójú omi aláyé máa bàjẹ́ mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ láàsì tẹ́lẹ̀ fi ẹlẹ́ẹ̀yà wèrè léyàn ẹ máa mọ̀ pé àwọn èèyàn tó ẹ ti kàn nínú yọ̀. You understand? Why you go to touch Yorùbá àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kù tó bá gbé nǹkan lé wọn lọ́wọ́ tó bá ní kọ́ lọ pàyà wọn wá wọn máa pàyà wọn wá look at that statement. Wọ́n ti rubbish àwọn èèyàn. No, ṣe bí talk am now. Kí ni ìjẹ́ tó máa bí nínú pé wetin the Igbos do for this bastard called Buhari? Wetin the Igbos do for am? Kí ló dé? Wetin the Igbos do for am? I know say I no be Igbo man but this dey pain me. This dey pain me. Ká fi pín ògùn ra wa rò náà ká bá lè mọ̀ pé kí ló ṣe fún wọn kí làwọn Yíbò ṣe fún wọn kí ló ṣe fún wọn ẹni pé kí ṣé ti dandan ni ṣé wọ́n sọ ẹran mẹ́ran kíkan jẹ́ ìtọ̀kọ̀ pa ni. And I said it earlier that Igbo should pay close attention. Mo sọ lọ́jọ́ yẹn tí mo bring the notice everybody sí Nnamdi Kanu. Tó bá rántí tí mo ní pé káwọn Igbo máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ pariwo sí i o because àwọn àbókì yìí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe wọ̀bọ̀ ilé ṣe silently ni o. Wọ́n fẹ́ pa silently ni o. Olórí burúkú ni wọ́n o. Mo wà free láti súnmọ́ àwọn Fáyẹ̀mí family díẹ̀ ní ìwé o. Mo mọ ojú tí bàbá yìí dá pa lórí fún Fáyẹ̀mí o.
Lẹ́rì.
Àwọn kò kàn ṣe sọ ni o ẹ má yẹ ká sọ́jú o ẹ má yẹ ká sọ́jú o àwọn ibùyà Fẹlá tó ní pé òun ò sùn kóun ṣe gbà tí wọ́n ó ní one occasion nígbà tí wọ́n wá gbé o ní pé ìgbà tí òun máa jí òun bára wọn pé òun sí inú délẹ̀ ó ní pé kó béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọmọ òun ò sí inú délẹ̀ tán rí ó ní pé ìgbà tí òun jẹ́ máa jí òun rí pé òun sí inú délẹ̀ kẹ́rẹ́kẹ́rẹ́ Fẹlá lọ o wọ́n tún ṣe Fábíọ́lá o àwọn ọmọ àádọ́ yìí dé the same ni o wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀
kò dẹ̀ sẹ́ńtọ́ lè ṣe fún.
tún yín mọ́ra àwọn ilé bí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kò sẹ́ńtọ́ lè ṣe fún un àti ara wọn nìkan ló máa rí tí wọ́n ní ṣe fún ara wọn nìkan. bọ̀ tó bá ti di ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá Yíbò ọmọ wọn máa ṣe wọ́n á fi ta yín wọ́n á jẹ́ pé àwọn olówó nínú yín àwọn businessman nínú yín tẹ́ pé individualistic society jẹ̀ láàárọ̀ ní Nàìjíríà me and my family alone la máa ń ṣe kí ní ẹ̀jẹ̀ kẹ̀rẹ̀ ó dìgbà tá a bá stop ẹ̀ Kaba ṣe collective society. Tí gbogbo àjọ pawọ́pọ̀ pa mọ̀ pé yes kíní tó bá da gbogbo alógbùrọ̀ pa alógbùrọ̀ da fún. And àwọn Mr. Atiku tó lọ fi 5 million lọ sí Amẹ́ríkà kí ló dé irú visa wo ló gbà? Tó bá ṣe fẹ́ gbé private jet gan dábẹ́ kí ló dé tó bá lè mọ iye bó ṣe wà desperate sí láti mí sọ pé àwọn ṣáàṣì ó ṣe jẹ́ pé election time nìkan l'Atiku máa ń gbé agbárí ẹ̀ tó.
Lọ sí Amẹ́ríkà ẹ̀.
Election time nìkan kí ló lọ́ bá wọn bàgẹ́ rẹ̀?
Validation.
Kí ló bá wọn bàgẹ́? Ó fẹ́ pa yín ni o. Wo tí ẹ bá lè ṣe mistake Atiku máa wo ẹ máa rí gbogbo èyí tó ń sọ tó rárá sọ̀rọ̀ bí òpònú tó mọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ sọ yẹn wo ẹ máa rí èṣù tó wà nínú ẹ̀. Ṣẹlẹ̀ ti ya wèrè ṣẹ̀tì máa ń dúró dé ṣẹlẹ̀ ti ya wèrè Atiku ń dúró dé ṣẹlẹ̀ ti ya wèrè wọ́n máa frustrate Obi kúrò nínú gbogbo ẹ̀ ni àwọn ṣe bí mo sá fún ẹ pé at the end of the day Nàìjíríà ni ìyá àjẹdé sá fún ọgbọmọ àwọn cultists last ṣe àwọn sọ̀rọ̀ bá àwọn ọlọ́sẹ̀ ayé níláyé àwọn olórí burúkú tẹ kọ́ lọ́wọ́ àkọsí fáyé wọn. Ṣèbí Boko Haram jẹ́ ti gbé wọn sìn. Nígbà tí ìyá àjẹ́ bá sá fún Boko Haram tí ìyá àjẹ́ sá fún kidnapper kárí yálà ìyàwó cultists tó ló fẹ́ dúró síbẹ̀ tí wọ́n nínú ẹ̀jẹ̀ ọmọ.
Lẹ́rìí bàbá.
Ẹ gba ìjàre ọwọ́ méjì lókè kò ní bàjẹ́ fún ìjàre kò ní bàjẹ́.
And that neighborhood, I hope you don't go say things wey go make them so angry and say, who be this guy? This is what we say everywhere, America now, small thing, small play. Oh, you don't hear pack. Say wetin happen? Say you offended. I mean, you annoyed me. I annoyed you. You shoot me. You kill me. It's America, so Larry no get nice mouth. Larry's mouth is quite sharp in a way. However, I want to say thank you to everyone who have stayed back to this time. Okay, before I take another call, I'm going to ask you respectfully that if you are still watching on MaiyegunsDiary Politico on YouTube, you can make it known. How could we have nearly 2,000 people, over 1,500 people, and we only have about 500 of you who actually feels like, oh, I mean, I love this, so I'm going to say thanks. Well, it does matter, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter if it is not voluntary. So I hope you drop that before you go tonight. Just checked my time. I'm thinking of taking this call before I call it a night. I'm sorry, this person has been there already. You know. Okay. Taking the call will likely take another 10 minutes of my time, but I am calling it a night right now. Something just came up, but thank you to every one of you who turned up tonight. And then I'm going to say, we'll give this a further follow-up that another ASUU strike looms. Doesn't mean that I actually want to see that. They have played gamble with the lives of these young people in Nigeria, and they don't seem to understand the damages they are doing or they have done. And that's why they're going to do more. Some of you probably don't even understand the damages, or you do understand the damages, but you feel helpless. Listen to me. I wish there is a better way or a better system put in place to actually care for you. But unfortunately, there's none, and you will never get any until you actually ask for one. How do you ask for one from a country that deliberately denied you them? Revolution. I don't know how that sounds to you. But it sounds so good to me. Because if you want to be out of a chain, the non-physical chains, the psychological chains that they have used to chain so many of you down in following the order that lead nowhere but ruin, destruction, poverty, underdevelopment, poor education, and the rest of that. Yeah? If you have a chance to change all of that, you're not going to beg for it. You're not going to use their rule book. You're just going to break the table. And if you ask me how, I'll tell you. Naturally, nobody is taught that. You will be taught that by Nigeria. Nigeria will teach you how you're going to revolute and break yourselves from the shackles of your oppressors. I've done my part tonight. Whatever you make or whatever you do with this information, it's completely yours. If you love it, if you like it, like the members of the temple, you can join us next time. So thank you from this part, and I'm going to see you some other time. Good night. Bolu, class captain. close the door when everybody is out. To the members of the temple, the brethren, I'll say good night and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Maiyegun Diary, Diary Politico.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Presido bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin ti ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.